What's up, everyone? Welcome to the inaugural episode of the Righteous Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Adam Philipchuk, and alongside me today I've got teammates Dylan Ashcraft, Hunter Platt, and our team captain, Jeremiah Gardner. Guys, we are on week 2 now already. We're just wrapping up week 2 of RTN season. How's everybody's RTN season going? Let's start with you, Dylan. Right.
So far.
I just remember you were telling us beforehand you didn't play in our RTNs. How has your week been?
Pretty good. I wasn't able to play an RTN this week, but I was at a friend's wedding, so got to talk about Flesh and Blood with the bride and groom, which was a good time.
Perfect. The sales pitch. Love it. Dylan, how are your RTNs this week? Hunter, how are your RTNs this week?
I didn't get to play any. I've been working, and it can be difficult to get to some of the events where I am, but I have one next week, and then I have at least one more coming up before the end of the year.
Okay. If you had played this week, what would you have played?
The panic picked Fang, because Fang has a reasonable position, but I genuinely don't know what the meta is going to look like here in Southern Ontario. And we normally have all ninjas, so I'd love to play Kasai into that, but with her position in the meta, I don't know, it's sort of weird, and I don't think ninja's that good in the meta games, so I don't know where they're going, where all the invasion guys and world's top 8 players are. I know some of them are on Florian, clearly, but...
You know what? Yeah, that's fair. It's... Florian definitely seems to be on the rise right now, but deciding what to do outside of that, I agree, has been a little tough. Dylan, if you had played this week, actually, yeah, same for you. What would you have played?
I was just say, we know the answer for me, right? So I skipped. No, I would have played Gravy Bones. Until he's gone, I think I can only play one deck.
It's your guy. You can't get off him.
Do you think there's anything that would get you off Gravy Bones right now?
They give me back Icelander or Viserai. That's right. Every Righteous content that I'm on, I'll ask for them both back.
But Florian's not enough to sway that, hey?
Florian's cool. I actually like Florian a lot. I used to play. He was what I was playing pre-high seas. He just doesn't scratch the Viserai itch. Like the Florian games are really good. I don't know. Not always what I want to be doing.
That's fair. You know, to the point of the Runeblade itch, Viserai, things like that. I playing Gravy a little bit now. I can see how it almost, I don't know, it feels Runeblade-esque in a way too.
He has Runeblade hands.
Yeah.
You can play your Moth Skies, so you can play your Shrill Skull form.
Yep.
And Warmongers can kill his turn.
It's yep.
It's an option.
Yeah. Hunter, Jesus.
Jeremiah.
No, I was gonna.
Gotta go.
The beauty of post editing, I can cut these out in real time. Yeah. No, I was gonna do me first because then we'll go into Jeremiah, kind of talking a little more about his longer one. Was my plan there. All right, I ended up getting to play in two RTNs myself this week. Saturday's a 32 player turnout. It was a little bit of a rough day for me. I am shaking off some rust here still, and this is, I think, first tier 2 I've played in quite some time now. So 32 players on Saturday. I brought Florian actually both days, and Saturday is just, I was playing against myself all day. Made a lot of misplays and ended up finishing with a 2-3 record in 25th. But we rallied. I think there was only 26 or 28 on Sunday. So managed to play 3-2 record, finished coming into 7th in the top cut. We ended up pairing into Jacob Allen in the quarterfinals, top 4 from Worlds this year, Jacob Allen, and Florian Mir, he was 2nd seed, and he knew how to navigate the end game better than me. Unfortunately, that was the end of our run there, but it still felt good to shake off some rust and just get into the competitive environment again. God, did I miss it. Jeremiah, you had a heck of a run though. Why don't you tell us about yours?
I did. Oh man, it was a really, really interesting day. I showed up on Kasai and I was ready to take on the day, ready to win, and I pair into Ravens round one. And even in that matchup, I'm thinking, oh, it's gonna be hard, but I can do it. And his turn 0 was Heartbeat of Candlehold into a Ring of Roses, and then hits me with Waning Moon. I'm on AB1, and he instantly gets a 5-point lead on me turn 0. And from there, I'm like, okay, I just have to kill him as fast as possible. And I just couldn't get there. And he ended up taking it at the end, up 12 life, and probably all of that from Ring of Roses. And so I was kind of down on my man, I have to win out from here. I have to win every single game. It's a 28-person event. There's a chance I make it up if I'm 3-2, but if I'm 4-1, I'm locked. So I played from there, and I won my next round on Lyath in my round 2. I went into my round 3, and I played into a Vincent, who they stumbled the first couple of turns, and I was able to gain enough point lead to have some leeway in the end to finish them off. I got into my round 3 playing against a Mario player, and I did quite well into that matchup. I had a really good blood on her hands turn to finish the game. I drew 2 cards off the top, and it was this kind of interesting moment. Like I kind of had like we love talking about numbers in the game of Flesh and Blood, where it's like, okay, there's numbers decks that just put out amazing damage, like things like KO or Kasai. Love their good numbers, and then you have your decks that have an asymmetrical value like Dio or Acilio that like to do their combos or mini combos. But I think a lot of times the things that can help fuel that is like the intuition. And so in this game against Mario, my only out was to hit the blood on her hands off the top. I had 8 copper. And so I pitched my first blue away, and I didn't hit the blood on her hands. I attacked, and I realized after my attack with the go again, whatever, with my first saber, the only way I was going to win is if I just pulled out the final, if I drew the final card off the top. And so I decided not to play it safe, and I said, nope, intuition right here. This one's blood on her hands. I drew it, hit the blood on her hands, activated the ability, and he just conceded on the spot because he had no way to deal with it. And I was able to put enough pressure to go into the final round. I played into a Mario, and again, the intuition thing kind of came into play here. On his second Kiss of Death, I just had this sensation or this feeling, hey, we should use the Kabuto here to block this Kiss of Death, and it'll probably save me some life and save me some effort. And it ended up doing it. I think it blocked. He told me after the game that Kabuto blocked about 4 to 6 points of damage, depending on how he followed up with it. I still lost the game, but at that point, I was locked for top 8, so I wasn't too worried about it. I was very happy. I had some really good breakers, and it went very well for me. And so on the point of intuition, I was like, you know what, intuition's worked well with me so far. I went into the top 8, and the next point where I had this, I was playing into the first seed. He was a Levia player, and normally I wouldn't bring Sigil of Solus into this matchup. It's a card that I run in my Kasai list. And I just thought, nah, I need to take this in. I'm going to go to 63 cards. It's against all of, like, the numbers and everything. I don't think I should, but I'm going to. So I did, and bringing in that Sigil of Solus, when he did his first Blood Rush Bellows turn, I just full blocked. Okay, good. Next Blood Rush Bellow turn, I gave him my Balance of Justice, and I opted off the top and saw that Sigil of Solus, and I thought that the only way I'm going to win this game is if I baited this Flesh Bag as best as I could. If I could get that Flesh Bag off and gain those 4 to 5 points of extra value in my favor, I figured, hey, let's just take that Sigil of Solace off the top, keep 2 cards in my hand, and let's just try to bait it. So on my turn, I swing with the sword for 2 after Kasai activation, and sure enough, he throws that Flesh Bag right in front of it, and I activate Sigil, I banish the card I wanted to Arsenal, I swung with the other sword because I had another resource floating, I got the go again off agility, and it worked out really well. I got he blocked that one too. I arsenal my go again source, and at the very end, I'm up at 4 life, and he had a reckless swing in hand. So if I hadn't sigiled there, I would have probably died to the reckless swing. But finished the game with the blood on our hands. Took them below both transformed thresholds, and ended up taking the RTN after that. So it was a really awesome run, and I couldn't believe I ended up taking it away. It felt like I don't know. It felt special. It was nice.
What was your gold foil?
Oh man, it was the Pouncing Paws.
Ah, so
It's a
spicy.
pretty good one.
That's so
Yeah,
spicy.
lots of potential too. Oof, with like Ira, if she ever gets like any kind of tiger support or any other ninja, that could go some really, really up there in value.
Yeah.
Stage playable. What do you mean? It's already there. Potential's right there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Could
actually
be.
a fun thing in general,
Not
just to
sure.
think like all the, I don't know, Coda Frost-esque like gold foils all of a sudden kind of become maybe spicy Sage. Like, I could see a world where a Sage Icelander could maybe run Coda Frost. That doesn't sound impossible to me.
It's a thing. Listen,
Like,
let's get Wave of Reality back to being good. I've got 2 gold foils that I use as coasters right now. I would love them to.
You are coping so hard. Code of Frost will never be anything more than just a coaster. Unless they print a hero that says, I love Code of Frost.
Not in Sage,
way.
you don't think?
No, not even in because you have so many better options. I mean, Code of Frost is a chess piece that tells your opponent you get 1 less resource. I would much rather have a chess piece that says, I get 1 more resource. Right? Like Blossom of Spring.
But I mean, if you already got these blue heavy hands and you're in excess of resources and you're trying to set up like a sick pivot or something like that, like you can do like Coda Frost into Red Arctic Incarceration. That stops a lot of opponents' turns.
Maybe, but don't you think you're better off? Like, because they would just say, I'm just going to Arsenal pass, okay? Or you're just better off running Spellfire Cloak, where on your opponent's turn you can get the 1 extra resource and gain extra 5 points of damage there, right?
Oh, and you know what? This is all theoretical. I'm just saying, like, I could see a world
Yeah,
where
of course.
I could do something. Like, it's just, um,
Look, Knives went from a $10 card to a $150 card overnight. You're right. They could print a hero that says Code of Frost is amazing. Give me an Ice Assassin. That'd be great. You know, something like that, right?
I'm sure everyone would
Give me
love
some
that.
fun times in Sage, you know?
That would
yeah.
be the most fun experience
Mind
for everyone.
immediately.
All right, so we've got lots of stuff RTN calling to talk about this week still. I think coming off of our little just recaps for our weeks, how do we feel with we're done the second week of RTN now. We've seen calling Akihabara. We're actually starting to get some numbers here. What do you guys think of how the meta's starting to shape up with post bans and stuff?
I think Warriors still sucks.
Yeah.
As a person who has only ever played Warrior except for Zen meta, Warrior sucks.
I couldn't agree with you more. I was very high on Kasai coming out of, and then after the bans, I was a little bit more coping. But she can't be higher than like a B tier. I took her to my RTN, and I don't think I would take her to another RTN. And I love Kasai. I love Warrior, but I just couldn't do it again.
But
Yeah.
so I guess like looking at the numbers here, we have the wins for week 2 of Road to Nationals. Verdance took the most overall. I did not have that.
Was a good man.
I didn't have it being Verdance though.
Yeah.
People love that hero. Like I feel like consistently is. If we were to like look back at 2025, I would take a bet that she is like the most played hero across the year. People love Verdance. I think she's the
maybe
single hero I
Syndra.
played against the most. Syndra's up there too. Don't get me wrong.
I could
but
say Syndra's up there, and maybe Aurora while she was legal.
I think you're forgetting the period of time during the year where she was not remotely playable. But
she sucked. Wait, which one? They both had moments where they were bad.
well, both of them. Like I don't know. It's interesting because
I don't know. I just know that like even in Memphis, where like Verdance was awful. Memphis might have actually been the first time that John like top 8'd with her, but I still played 3 of them that weekend. And I was like, where are you guys coming from? People love that hero.
Verdance's big unveiling, like realistically in the meta, was US Nats, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Majin winning.
Majin.
He won a
Yeah.
battle hardened.
Yeah, I feel like she was emerging a little bit before then. Yeah.
She was emerging
Yeah.
before, but that's when she got Light Up the Leaves, right? So at any time
Yeah.
before US Nats, though, she's like 2% meta share or something.
And you know, that's a good point. Like Light Up the Leaves was a huge addition.
Well, Light Up the Leaves wasn't until
It was
That
US
was later.
Masters,
No,
right?
that was
Yeah,
later.
that was with.
Oh, was that?
I see.
No, it was
Light Up the Leaves is supposed.
It was Burn Bear.
It's
Burn Bear was
yeah,
the first
no,
big
it's
edition.
Kansas.
It was Burn
Light
Bear.
Up.
Light Up the Leaves was
Light Up the
was
Burn Bear
even
and High Seas.
more gas, but yeah, it was Burn Bear. I think was like
Yeah,
the
that
first
was
3 for 6.
Super
That was yeah,
Yep.
Yeah,
yeah,
But
because
she didn't,
Burn Bear
like,
came in High Seas. That was right at Nationals along with Everbloom.
Yeah, replacing Emeritus was pretty big.
Yeah, yeah.
Was-
Being able to hit for 6 and 9,
Is
or
Light
6
Up the
and 3
Leaves?
for 9.
Am I stupid? Is Light Up the Leaves in?
Super Slam.
Super Slam. Yeah.
It
It
is.
is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because I remember they
It's okay,
revealed
Burn Bear.
it calling Kansas weekend, and like my friend group and I were like, "Why is she getting this?" And it was the talk of the town.
But I think High Seas introduced both Burn Bear and was it Everbloom, the Blue Earth card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and those were
Yeah,
both
the
so
Blue
much
Earth
gas
card,
for her.
Gold foil that's now like $200. Crazy.
Yeah, but I guess if we finish rounding off looking at the classic construction wins, so like Verdant surprises me. I thought Gravy was going to keep her down a lot more. Florian in second, Mario in third. With Florian at 18 wins, Mario at 14 wins.
I think that when we look at the Florian number, that's just a very good indicator of what happens when you see a hero perform very well on a weekend, and suddenly everybody who had loved this hero prior is like, "Oh, I'm going to come back and play him." But what's shocking is that he came out and showed up and nearly beat out Verdance at 18 wins versus her 19. That's
Well-
like the shocker there to me.
Florian is a winning matchup into everything in the game that's not Verdance or Gravy, pretty much. Like,
Yeah, his like Talshar data is insane.
Like you're right, Jeremiah. Like part of
2 weeks
the
ago.
reason Florian is where he's at right now, I think, is because of Michael Yasker. Absolutely. But I think it's Michael Yasker put him on the map, but he's actually meant to stay on the map. It's not just hype.
people really looking at one invasion RTN and be like, yeah, one of the best players in the world won with a deck at a tournament where he's the best player in the room. It's like, I find that so interesting. I don't know if it's really that. I think it's just that people really like Florian, and he got like a fortunate meta break this weekend. I do think the deck's really good. I think it'll continue being good, but I don't think there's any grandiose sort of, like, everyone saw Yasker's list and they're like, yeah, this means it's time to play Florian, I think.
Well, it wasn't just
People
Yasker.
play
There was, I think, a couple I saw a couple other deck types pop up at the same time. I think a couple other people hopped on the train around a similar time. So it wasn't just Michael, but I think he was one of the first big ones that I saw.
Yeah. I just think that people like the deck and they play it reasonably well, and quite frankly, a lot of the matchups play themselves. So if Florian's well positioned and you got 5 in a room of 35 people, yeah, I see 14% conversion to wins there. That makes sense.
I am interested because I agree with you, Hunter. I think a lot love Zeta set. I think there's a lot of popularity surrounding it. I wonder if there was a big uptick in numbers for these Earth heroes after the reprints of Felling and Plow Under. These cards that were once like $250 to get a playset for both of them is now like $30.
Oh, guaranteed that was a factor. I've heard many people say they didn't want to play Earth because it was too expensive.
I question that a little bit, if only because they're so close to LL. Like, if I was a cost-conscious player, I would be, like, I'm more interested in playing Florian now because it's much cheaper, but I'm also not interested in buying into Florian because he's going to LL within 6 to 9 months.
Well, sort of, right? I mean, that's also another reason why I could be more than willing to buy into him, right? Where it's like, okay, yeah, he LLs, but I only have to contribute like $12 in order to get there, right? Like,
Yeah,
maybe
if
they're
you only
missing
have
those.
to, if you only need $12 to get there, you already
Right.
have to be in Runeblade or Wizard to get there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I think, like, to be fair, the price of both Felling and Plow Under were lower than were lower before Florian became like the big dog of the format, right? Like, tons of people have had opportunity to buy in. The moment I saw Felling fall to $5, even though I already have a set, I was like, I'm buying this now. Forget about it. Like $5 Fellings, like, I don't. Maybe it'll be like a Big Mac, and I'll never see it again, right? Like, who knows? It could stay at 5 forever. But I bought them. I bought it just another playset so that I could put it into both Florian and Verdance, right, and have them built and ready to go at all times.
Unless there's something I'm missing too, it's people like Runeblade. Is there another Rune? I guess Vincent exists, but Vincent's sort of weird. Like, I don't know,
Dude,
people like playing Runeblade.
We're getting Viscerai in Monarch 3 in the fall. He's
Oh,
coming
wait.
back to us.
Aurora's around the corner. They already told us you.
He's not
Whatever
Runeblade.
happens this year, people want to play Runeblade. Florian's the good Runeblade. Vincent's
Mastery pack
sort of mid.
Runeblade, anybody?
Oh, yeah, thank goodness. Let's.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be that bad, I think. Either way, before we keep just harping on it, yeah, Florian's a good deck. We'll
Yep.
go over the Calling Akihabara stats a bit, but Florian's blatantly the best deck at that tournament. I have some hypotheses as to why.
In fourth place, I guess, for the most wins, then we saw KO Armed and Dangerous at 14. Am I correct? I think his numbers actually went up from week 1. Is that right?
By a lot.
Yeah.
By a lot.
Yeah.
And that could just be number of events, I'm not sure, but he went from 4 wins to 14 wins, outpacing Gravy Bones and Kasai, who he was falling behind before.
Which, I mean,
KO
then
sucks.
KO sucks. KO is the
Yes.
choose your own adventure deck, but you're not the one choosing your adventure. Hey, choosing KO's adventure. So if you're him, you show up to your tournament, you won. Congratulations. If you're not him, sorry guys.
Better luck next
just
time.
I fundamentally hate wanting to play KO. Just like you have to play very solidly. Like it's not easy to play KO properly. But even when you do that, you have little to no routes to win games that your deck doesn't want you to win. And hey, Gravy, Warrior, same thing. Mario, sort of, a little bit better, but there are a lot of decks in the game right now that are, like, you can show up and you can make every decision mathematically correctly, and you're going to get your ass kicked because the deck didn't draw in the right order. But
Yeah.
Play Earth. Look what we got.
I mean,
Play Earth, have the ethereal hand block for you so you can activate Grasp and make a rune chant and swing your sword.
Yeah.
mm-hmm. I mean, KO, you can easily, he doesn't have any agency. He's just going to drop a full hand of no blocks if you're unlucky on turn 0, and then you kind of just die, right? Or they banish your Blood Rush Bellows off the top, and then you kind of just lose. But in the other realm, you could hit 3 Blood Rush Bellow turns in a row, and then just get so far ahead that you just can't lose.
Yeah. I mean, even if we want to take, like, the agency argument out of it, because I think there's a valid argument that you should not consider agency when you're picking a deck. You should just pick the deck with the best win rate. He just doesn't have a good win rate. It's just a bad deck. It's like 49% into the field.
Yeah.
Unless you're expecting 18 prisms to show up to your 24-player event. Like, just play a better deck. Play RKO. It's much more interesting.
RKO is cool.
RKO is so fun.
Yeah, it does.
I want to see more people pick them up.
Yeah, that's a deck I
Play
gotta get some more
Levia if
reps
you want to
on.
know what eye roll looks like.
Imagine Count Your Blessings RKO. Oh my god.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to.
Oh my gosh.
It's not... Alright, guys. Seriously, it wouldn't be good. It would be bad, even with 9 CYB.
I would have bottom decked yellow CYB with Scoob, but
just
that's
because-
what I want to do.
Just because it's bad doesn't mean you wouldn't see it, because I think there were a lot of bad CYB that you just saw
do it
Every
everywhere.
CYB deck except for New was bad. Every
And I would
CYB
still make
deck
my
was
opponent,
bad.
my locals deal with it.
I'm so I fully am in the camp of I don't mind CYB being banned because it's really frustrating for like the casual and new player experience. That doesn't bother me. I'm so absolutely firmly in the camp that it is not a good card.
Dylan, you're a resident Gravy player. Gravy came in 5th at 10 wins. What are your thoughts?
Sometimes the deck is great. Sometimes I don't know. The thing is that, like, when it comes to RTN stats, what I really would like to know, I want to know top 4 conversion rate. right? Like, I want to know how many Florians made top 4. I don't care who won an RTN, especially because, like, the prize is top 4. You want your invite to Nats. The playmats are cute. The promos are cool too. But like, so many people concede after top 4 because the only thing that matters is the Nats invite. Gravy. The room is very subjective, right? Like, if you pair into nothing but aggro, you're gonna have a bad day. And like Hunter was saying, like, sometimes you draw the wrong half of the deck. Sometimes you draw all your dudes and no ways to put them in the yard. Sometimes you don't draw ways to make gold.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a shame, we don't have the top 4 conversions and even just like numbered of like, heroes registered throughout the week versus the wins as well. I can imagine gravy mirrors are a little miserable for that too.
Whoa. Gravy mirrors are amazing. I also, to be honest with you, the other thing is like, so the gravy players around me who did get their invite already, they switched to other decks because they want to play like fun stuff or learn something new. So like the one guy with the Prism, the other guy's playing Goliath.
They played their gravy games. They moved on to the fun stuff.
Yeah, they did their thing. They top forward and they went, okay, let's go put a bunch of R's into play. Like, I know the one person played the Fatigue Pleiades deck on Sunday.
Yeah.
Or Saturday, whenever my RTN was that I missed.
Rounding out the top 8, we had Kasai in 6 at 10 wins, Acilio in 7 at 10 wins. So essentially Gravy all the way down to Acilio and Kasai tied for wins. And then Prism at 7 wins. I guess probably just KO gets better, Prism gets worse.
What do you mean?
Yeah, maybe for representation, yeah.
Yeah.
I think another thing is, like, Prism's slight, like, a big reason to play Prism is Gravy. A slightly lesser reason to play is Verdance, but it's not like that matchup is insanely Prism favored. It's just slightly Prism favored. Florians can tech for the matchup and make it, I think, Florian favored. I don't know them, like, exact details post-attendant, but I don't know. Prism's a solid deck until people tech for you. It did well last week. It's a sine wave. It's Kano stuff, People put in poppers this week, probably. And yeah, KO had a better overall representation, but there's so many events, I don't know if you can really look at it like that and say, oh, well, 20 KOs won, that means 2 Prisms should win, sort of thing. They're not all at the same tournament. One tournament could have 8 KOs and 1 Prism, and one could have 8 Prisms and 1 KO, and that KO wins that tournament, but the Prism wins the other one, It's sort of weird. Weird how it ends up.
So
I think the biggest takeaways from the Classic Constructed wins this week are just Earth is the best thing in the game, and Gravy might be an incredibly broken deck that has good matchups into Earth, but it's really, really frustrating to play.
So then what about...
And a lot of this is at the RTN level too.
Yeah.
Some of these decks do fare better at the RTN level, like especially KO. Like, I think that KO numbers go up just strictly because he's a deck that most people can pick up and play, and Prism decks aren't that. You can't just pick up and play a Prism. You need to have the reps in that deck. In KO, the reps in it are a little bit different because you get through games much quicker as an aggro deck. That's how I've always seen it, like aggro decks versus like the complicated decks. Like, you can't. I don't think someone can just pick up Dio and know how to play her overnight, right? Like, that's a complicated deck too.
Yeah. Well, like KO just, I don't know. I just would pose the question: if you played 70 callings, do you think KO would win 14 of them? I genuinely believe if you played 70 callings in this meta, KO might win 1 or 2.
Maybe. I mean, we had the one we got to, right, with a meta similar to this. But I think we've had 70 major events between now and this year, and I don't think KO was taken as...
Definitely, I don't know. I don't know the numbers for that, but
yeah. But going forward, could he win some? I don't know. It'd have to be like the most wild most wild rides. Like I'll believe it when I see it. And if he can win a big major like that, it's the same position I have with Vincent. It's like at this point he needs to take home another major, and I haven't seen it yet. But he's definitely a good RTN deck if you wanted to take KO to an event. Like I would say, yeah, that's a good decision if you want to do that.
KO is the boy who cried wolf. Like it reminds me of people telling me, "Oh, and now Azalea is going to be the best deck in the game." Except Azalea was always good. She was never the best deck in the game, but she was always like, "Damn, I don't want to sit across from that."
Yeah, like the hero power is always something to be reckoned with. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Death
KO
Dealer,
was just like,
great.
Okay, sure. Hey, how's it going, KO? Like, cool. Part of that's bias from being a warrior player and having really good matchups into them, but.
So then I guess after looking at some RTN numbers, we also had the calling Akihabara this week. I don't know. How do we feel about those numbers? Where we have more numbers, we've got all the stats. How do we feel about those numbers in comparison? Any surprises? Any outliers?
Keep joking that Earth Heroes are going to win these callings, and then Earth Heroes keep winning the callings, apparently.
It's a lot of aggro. And I think that contributes a lot to the storyline of the tournament in Akihabara. Is 24 Syndras, 22 KOs, 20 Acilios, 18 Dios. It's just a lot more aggro representation, I think, than you'd expect. And because of that, we saw Verdance had a abysmal weekend, which is not surprising to me. Gravy had decent representation still, which I guess shouldn't come as too much of a surprise. Apparently his Syndra matchup is fine now, like 50-50-ish, and I guess he just didn't run into a lot of Dios. Actually, he was incredibly favored into Dio this weekend. I don't know. It's a bit weird. It's hard to know exactly why certain things happen, though I would assume that Gravy has more agency in game planning than something like Verdance does for aggro matchups. Verdance sort of just has to play your cards and hope it works, whereas Gravy gets to be like, okay, I'm going to play these tech things and D-reacts here and block in this way, focus on this game plan. It doesn't always work, but you get to make those choices.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Verdance was most represented, if only slightly, at 25, and did terribly. She converted 3 players into day 2.
3 players, yeah.
Yeah, 12% conversion rate. The worst conversion rate outside of like decks getting 0% from one player in the event.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I don't think that's representative of Verdance's power level. Clearly, she won the most RTNs, but she is susceptible to metas like this. And I think if you're picking a hero, be it for Columbus this weekend or for a local RTN, it's just all metagaming and what you're good at.
Do we have the top 8 for? I don't have it handy here.
I got a screenshot.
2 Syndras, 1 Florian, 2 Syndras.
There was a Dio.
Yeah, there was a Dio.
I have it right here. It was Sam. It was Sutherland. It was Sam Sutherland first Dio, and then first seed, and 8th seed was Acilio. It was Tsunaki Sawai. You had 2 Marios, 2 Syndra. No, 3 Marios, 2 Syndras, and Florian.
Yep.
Yeah. And Mario might have played a role in that too.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at that top 8, and you know Florian's going to win it unless Acilio makes some weird run. But just based on matchups, obviously, games can go either way, but sort of got a pretty easy road through all of that.
So, I mean, I guess looking at all this, the big question is RTN week 3. Well, I guess RTN week 3 and Columbus. Those are, I guess, the next things on people's minds. I guess Earth is still on the menu. I don't think
Yep.
anything changes with that. Is there a question Florian versus Verdance? I feel like it's probably still more on the Florian side, but do you guys see otherwise?
Depends on meta share. Florian's good into aggro, Verdance is good into control and long game decks. Obviously, you win the Earth Mirror. And if you expect gravies, you don't really want to be on either, but you'd much rather be on Florian.
Aren't most of the best players in the country, aren't they on Gravy?
I don't know.
Did any of them
I
pick
think
up?
they're
I'm
on
pretty sure
Mario.
some of the most. They all switched over to Mario.
It depends on the event, but yeah, at least
Yeah,
prior to
they
bannings,
rotate.
they were all on Mario because Mario is a disgusting, disgusting hero.
It is a very, very good hero.
Mario's
But,
like a better warrior, really. Like,
Well, he's called Wario at this point instead of Mario.
You don't have good aggro
Secret
matchups
warrior.
in the same way that like a Kasai does, and you don't have free mid-range matchups in the same way that a Fang does, but you do have.
I just mean like
Like-
putting your opponent in the position where there's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, warriors do that. Fang might do that when you're at one life. No warrior actually does that. The warrior is damned if they do, damned if they
At
don't
this
most
point.
of the time.
I guess I'm just thinking of the old Dorinthia days.
For 200 games of Dory in, and like there are many, many, many more turns where I look at my hand and I go, "Boy, I sure hope my opponent's bad at Fab." Just like, there's no other way I win this game other than my opponent just doesn't know what blocking is. Like, you have to keep so many hands where you just like, this does literally nothing, but if I block, my opponent gets to win the game, so I need to not block and hope they overblock in a really bad way. Or the vice versa of it, where it's like, I cannot possibly block with this hand and lower my threat density this much, so I need to keep it even though they have their whole armor up. So is there some way I can, like, Jedi mind trick them into not blocking properly?
That's like probably the biggest reason I'm off Kasai is that's like you have to mind game your opponent in order to win, and it's you just really have to read them as soon as you sit down and say, can I trick this person?
It's so weird that, like, the two, prior to Florian coming back, I would have said Dawnblade is genuinely good in this meta, but she just, it's like 0% in the Florian. This matchup's abysmal. Verdance is fine, Gravy's great, some other stuff is fine, but like, ugh. So you have two viable warriors in the meta, and they're Fang and they're Kasai, and like Fang has this really, really solid spread into mid-range decks, right? Like, playing into Florian, playing into Gravy, playing into Kasai, you even like KO is fine. You're just really solid in these matchups, and you get a lot of percentage points, but your aggro matchups are really bad, and you can tech for them and make them only sort of bad, but they're really bad. And your control, like, fatigue matchups, which not a lot won, but they do show up, they're not great. Like, you have to play really tight to win against a good fatigue player. And you can, but you have to play tight. And then Kasai, on the other hand, is like this hollowed out mid-range where, like, her mid-range matchups are really not good, except for KO. Like, she's terrible into Florian. She's not great into Verdance. She is, like, generally terrible into Fang. I've been winning both sides on Talishar, so I don't know how to understand that, but if you can avoid that, your aggro matchups are great, and your fatigue matchups are near deterministic if you play it right. So maybe you want to do that. And then you have Mario, who sits in this weird middle of the pack here, where he's like, he's not good into Florian. He's apparently like, his stats are bad into Warrior this weekend. Or at least it's bad into Kasai this weekend. But normally I feel like Mario is slight favored in the matchup. And Mario's just sort of like good into everything, except for Florian and Gravy, which are like the two best decks in the game,
Mm-hmm.
probably right now for this weekend.
That makes sense. I mean,
And
So what, like a 5-way
I
meta
can
then?
it's just it's a crapshoot. Just if you know who's showing up to your RTN, bring a deck you know to play that's competent in the room, and hope you don't get screwed by Gem.
Otherwise, roll a dice and pick whatever deck you feel like playing.
Play Earth.
I mean, playing
When in
Earth is
doubt,
a
play
good
Earth.
place to be,
Yeah.
especially if you love to play Earth.
Just play Florian.
Play
Yeah,
Florian,
top four.
and don't hit Gravy and Verdance, and you'll win the event, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And that's probably what's going to happen. We're going to see a Florian
Dude's top
win,
four.
and then he's going to perform well in the RTN season, and he really real world chance he leaves and LL's on come Monday.
that
Very
would
possible.
That'd be cool, I guess. I mean,
That'd
it
be
would
crazy.
make my decision making a lot easier because then you can just
Mhm.
play Kasai at every event. But like, there's genuine arguments for a lot of things, right? So like, if
Yeah.
you think that like Florian's going to be pushed out of the meta because Gravy Verdants are good, then you play Dio because Dio's got a really solid matchup normally into that and Mario. If you think that aggro's going to be big, then yeah, you're obviously on Florian. But if aggro's big and Florian is big, then there's like other stuff that you can use to push back on that, and it goes in this cycle. I just don't. There's almost no meta where Kasai is actually good. That's what I know. Because if aggro's good, that means Florian's good, and Florian is just better Kasai in every way, with the exception of the Gravy matchup.
World's smallest violin playing just for Kasai.
I don't know. Whatever, man.
I've been mourning her loss since Miss Vale.
Yeah, so I guess, but to you guys' point, yeah, the LL numbers did come out, and that's probably the biggest thing to shake up the meta right now. Like, do we really think Florian could be gone? Because what, right now we're looking at this, it's Monday, January 12th. Do we think Florian could be gone in a week?
Yeah, he could be.
He
Is
could,
there,
only if he wins the calling.
He's absolutely gone if he wins the calling.
Yes.
64 points.
And is he getting one? He's still at 1.0 multiplier, right? Or when?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Florian will die this weekend if he wins the calling, and he could die if he doesn't. I don't know what the points per event are.
I mean, considering that he is at 18 wins this weekend and this next weekend, if he 18 wins, he is most certainly gone by the end of national season. You could even say by the last weekend of Nats, he's gone. It's just a question of is it next week or 2 weeks from now? He is on his way out and just leaving the meta with a splash too. And I think there's been a couple of other heroes. I think 5 last heroes to LL did not leave with a splash. I think like Azalea with they just kind of dash IE, and then you had Kano. Like all of these heroes just kind of won and disappeared, and they didn't really have a presence. But I think Florian leaving, like Hunter said, is going to open up a lot of new possibilities for new heroes to step in. Because Florian was a really big gatekeeper for those heroes. So I don't think that the metas shake up crazy after he leaves, but once he does leave, it's got to start like a cascade effect, right? Where he'll leave, and then the next person to leave will be KO, and then after KO, maybe you see Prism leave, and within by next year, you might have a completely different landscape of heroes.
I could see that.
I mean, a lot of people have been complaining about how like this feels a little bit stale because Super Slam didn't really do much, and then we have Compendium of Wrathe. So like next month, it could be a completely different game based off of what happens in that set. We don't know yet. But these next 3 weeks, aside from this, assuming that set doesn't really do anything to CC, by next month you could have 3 heroes gone, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
I think there has to be a Runeblade in Compendium.
Like a new hero?
Any heroes in Compendium?
I think they have to use this opportunity to print new heroes, right? Because
I'm going to disagree with you. I don't think there's a single hero in that set. I'd like to be wrong. I want a new wizard really badly, but
Yeah.
I don't think we're getting a single hero.
I'll meet you guys in the middle with they're gonna print a blitz hero or a young hero.
Yeah, if anything, it's
Maybe.
it's. Yeah,
I could absolutely see Sage support for heroes. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's possible, but I don't know. I think they'd sort of be missing an opportunity to print all the heroes that they don't think work well in draft.
That's true.
Like, they need to print Aurora again, but I
Mhm.
don't think we want to do a lightning set unless it's like Ice Lightning or something.
Yeah, but like we know she's coming back in the summer though, so we're probably getting Ice Lightning in the summer set.
Maybe.
And we can also get reprinted heroes in like the mastery, or like they could stuff as many heroes as they want into those sets, like ones that don't work in draft.
I have one like big plus for why I think there's new heroes in the set, and it is that the spoiler video or whatever, the preview video trailer for the set has pictures of all of the mentors in it, and one of those mentors is already a new hero. It's Hala.
True.
That's fair.
So-
I think I guess similar to back that up too is in one of the booklet that we got at Worlds. I don't know why I did that. We all know what a booklet is, but at the booklet we got at Worlds, there was Cheyenne transforming into Icelander on the cover. So I could see like we get her as a not a CC hero, but as like a Silver Age hero.
Yeah, we could see something like that for sure.
Because why support Shapeshifter
Yeah.
if the class is just dead?
Yeah.
I mean, give me a CC Minerva that's a warrior turned necromancer revived from the dead, right? That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know. We didn't see Minerva, but we did see we saw the Brute one, we saw the Runeblade one, we've seen Hala as an actual hero. So,
but I think that Minerva's dead, right? In the lore, she dies.
Yeah.
Right. So like coming back to life as a necromancer ally would be pretty wild.
That would be a
Pretty wild way to bring her back.
Cool
Yeah,
plotline.
Necromancer's ally, yeah.
That'd be pretty crazy. Or even like a shadow ally, like we get a new shadow hero in the set.
we know we saw
and
Blaze
she's an ally or
too
something.
in the trailer,
Yeah, I mean that
and Kano's
it
gone.
does look a lot like Blaze.
So maybe with
I would be
just
surprised to
can't
not
imagine
see
they're
Blaze
gonna
get
release-
reprinted.
Yeah, I just can't imagine that they're like, hey, look, Blaze is in this set. Like, if I would not be surprised if Blaze is in this set as like a Sage option, maybe with different text or whatever. But
Well, no, she's only
not
printed as a
Kano.
promo right now, so I could see a world where they
Yeah.
reintroduce her as a rare hero so that
But
people
she's-
can play her.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was I should rephrase. I don't think there's CC heroes.
Yeah.
It's possible. I just think we.
Yeah.
I want CC heroes. I just don't. I don't know.
And-
For some reason, I just don't feel like they're coming.
And what's interesting now is we have gem packs, and you can throw whatever you want into that gem pack season. Like, there's so many avenues that LSS has to
Aren't
really update
they
and
killing
change the
gem
game.
packs for the tournament pack thing?
I don't
Are we
know.
getting tournament
Gem
packs
packs
now?
have been
Or is that only for
overwhelmingly
big events?
Probably only for big events. Gem packs have been overwhelmingly positive. I don't ever see them dropping. It would be a mistake to drop gem packs as a support.
It'll be like a rebranding, but yeah.
Because you have so like they're giving us Marvel heroes, they're giving us reprints, they're giving us like, hey, we got Jarl in there now. I mean, kind of a bummer to open just a regular promo Jarl, but if you didn't buy the armory deck, you have a Jarl now, right? Like, and I fully expect that we're getting our Vincent Marvel in this next gem pack, or in the one after it. Probably the next gem pack we get Vincent Marvel to tease their Shadow Monarch Warpath Part 3 or whatever, but like Compendium, if Compendium does not get, I think Hunter, you're onto it that we're gonna get something. It'll probably be in the gem packs for Compendium.
Something. I just
something.
think that it's very hard to integrate Wizards and Runeblades into draft sets because of how Arcane interacts. So I think that this would be a nice opportunity if they didn't want to do something like that, for them to drop some fleshing out of, at the very least, the generic Runeblade and Wizard roles. Because with Kano gone, with Viserai gone, Florian's going to leave soon. The only... Like, you're going to have Acilio and Vincent as the only playable heroes in those classes. And while they are interesting heroes, they are very, very polarizing in how they play and don't necessarily match what people might want out of their favorite class.
See, I have a bit of a controversial take here on what I want Compendium of Wraith to do. I hear a lot of people saying that they wish that their hero never LLs and play them in CC forever, but I'm at a point where I just hope the Compendium of Wraith takes all of these heroes that are 3 years older or whatever and say, hey, these common and rares and expansion slots are going to make you guys so good that you're all leaving within 6 months, and just clean up almost every hero that's been in the game for so long. Give them their time in the sun to shine, and anybody that wants to play them again, they have this new Sage format to play them in. And now we can just finally clean up this, everything. Because I was looking at a Dawnblade list. I was trying to experiment with like a Dawnblade Kasai list just for fun. But every single good Dawnblade card is locked behind a specialization. And I'm just kind of done with the idea of specializations and talents locking cards behind specific heroes so that other heroes like Dory can't have access to them. So if we can just get all of these older heroes out of the game, I think
Yeah,
it'd
but
be
if
really
Dory leaves,
interesting
you lose
going forward.
Dawnblade.
I think
Signature weapons.
Dawnblade is the worst possible example to use that with, but I think
Yes.
I know what you're saying.
Right, yeah, it's probably worst example, but like you get what I mean, because we got these reviled, and the reviled and revered talents are interesting, but I think their strongest function is gatekeeping those specific cards away from the other guardians and other brutes.
Yeah, thank God.
Yes,
I don't
thank
want.
God indeed.
I don't want those reviled cards and revered cards and other heroes. Like they're pretty cracked.
Yes.
They're locked behind
Yes.
some lesser hero powers for a reason, right? Like
Yes. I just want to see. I want to be able to go. Like, I love having a wide selection of CC heroes, but I also want to see all of these CC heroes that are just terrible have a moment to shine. Their 6 months of fame, and then they're gone. And every time I go to a worry about pairing into Vincent round 1, right? Like, and not be prepared for that matchup that I just didn't expect, or a Katsu or something, and get knowledge checked on them, right? Like, I kind of do hope I pair into Katsu round 1. I would actually really like that, but you know what I mean.
My hope is that all of these exceedingly volatile heroes leave the game, and like that being the good ones currently, not the bad ones, and we can go back to a period of Fab where I feel like if I sit down and play better than my opponent, that I will win the game most of the time, rather than what it is right now, where it's still better than any other card game I've ever played, but I do not like sitting here and going like, geez, I really hope the top 20 cards on my deck let me win this game.
I kind of disagree with that, but that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah, it's
because we've been going a pretty long chunk of time here.
That's a big that's a big tangent. Well, here let's end on this one. Anybody got any thoughts for any dark horse heroes for going into the next week?
It really depends on your local meta. Like, I can make an insanely strong argument for Fang if your meta is like Florian Verdant's Gravy, right? The Verdant's matchup isn't bad. For the first time in human history, we have proof of that from the calling. Fang had a 75% win rate in the Verdants across 4 games. The matchup isn't that good, but it is even. And yeah, if your meta is just like hollowed out of aggro decks because they're being forced out by a large Florian presence and maybe a large Kasai presence, like all of those are great matchups. Your worst matchup in that is Verdance, and Verdance is honestly pretty dice roll dependent more than anything. So yeah, you got a good argument there, but then you can like sort of flip the script and say like, hey, there's not a lot of Florian Verdance Gravy because they're being pushed out by various other things, and hey, now Pleiades or Jarl or something like that makes a lot of sense.
That was actually my call. I was going to say that I think this weekend there's a strong chance that you see Jarl in top 8 as a dark horse candidate. Like, that's kind of like my pie in the sky. If I say somebody, it's going to be Jarl. Because it seems like it's brewing pretty well in his favor, especially if Gravy's losing stock.
have to wonder that he's like presented nothing in these last few weeks.
But that's a bit of a dark horse, right? That's like the idea. It's like, oh look, they just came out of nowhere and it was a perfect moment, and it's now they shine and then they're gone.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Jarl did play one game at calling Akihabara and dropped.
Got the promo and left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dylan, what do you think?
It's all about fatigue Pleiades, baby. Pilates is gonna take over.
The new face of Flesh and Blood.
I mean, if the
You're gonna
meta
pitch to Heart of Fendal, you're gonna like it.
if the meta is exactly opposite to the good Fang meta, then yeah, Pleiades is good. I have no conceivable way of understanding how she consistently beats Gravy, Florian, Verdance, or Kasai.
We have our like local group of people who like test race. So one of them was like, I want to really get into Pilates, or like a buddy of mine was like, I want to get into the Pilates deck. So we played a game earlier today, and he was like, can you just run Gravy into me one time? I want to see how bad it is. I end with 32 health, 40 cards in deck, 7 allies on board. He's like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, my brother in Christ, you left Rigor Mortis in play for the entire game. Like, you can't do that.
No.
I was playtesting into it with Zach, and like I played a Fang game into it, and I lost by 1 card in deck, and I definitely could have played tighter. And then I played a Kasai game into it, and it was just deterministic. It was just not even remotely close. I asked him, like, did you just, like, where's your Midas touches? And he was like, oh, the list only plays 2. And I'm like, how? How are you ever? You have no go again. You don't even play, like, E-Strike, I think. How are you beating Gravy with 2 Midas touch? It's not...
Dude, you just gotta get there. You can only kill 2
And they're
chumps.
playing
Do
Millers.
better.
I mean, I assume in that matchup they're playing Sledge, but like if they were playing Millers isn't even good into Gravy because you'll just lose clashes to allies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm losing my mind.
And even if you win the clash on the ally, doesn't it destroy the top card of the deck, which means you just draw them a card?
You don't mind that. Like, the allies are going to get into Graveyard either way. That's not really the matchup. The matchup is just killing allies in a good tempo while minimizing damage.
Yeah, you play Whack-A-Mole and hope they don't know how to play against Fatigue.
Yeah. No, I just think
They cast Remembrance
Exactly.
and their boats, and then you go home.
cast Remembrance in response to you killing Whaler. I'll pick up Whaler before he flips over and grab 2 other good cards, and then...
I will say, on the note of, like, the Gravy thing, I think a lot of Gravy play... I think your average Gravy player is kind of bad at playing against Fatigue, which is where you're seeing these decks get some wins.
Yeah, for sure. But, like, if we're using the argument of the players are bad, then you can play pretty much any one of the top 9 lists that performed well. All the way down to Syndra, I think. You can play any of these heroes. The top, I think this is 10. Yeah. Top 10 heroes, play any of them. And if you play well and don't hit awful matchups, you'll top 4. That's not hard.
Yeah. Oh, for an RTN.
Yeah, for an
100%.
RTN. But like, if you're talking like Columbus or something, I've yet to be amazed by the Pleiades list. I think it's similar to Jarl, but just doesn't have the ability to win
Alright,
matchups
guys.
for free.
Yeah.
But what's going to win Columbus?
Florian.
Oh, Florian. Like, Florian.
It's Florian or Gravy.
Adam?
Yep.
I
Those are...
have a hard time at not seeing being one of those 2. Yep.
It's going to be me on Gravy Bones.
So right, that was the right answer. Yes, it was Dylan.
Maybe, you know?
That was the right answer.
Dylan Ashcraft on Greasy Bones.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I will lose to Zach.
Top 8. And just like, dude, why? Why did I pair a Fang in top 8?
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, an interview with the future calling winner, Dylan Ashcraft.
Future calling gives me time, so as long as we don't date it, we're good.
Those are the only 2 decks that I...
Future Columbus calling winner, Dylan Ashcraft.
All right, Adam. No, I'm with you, Hunter. If I weren't playing Gravy, I would play Florian.
Yeah. It just depends on the meta you expect to show up. I don't know what you guys expect for Columbus, so... If you,
I'm hoping it leans earth heavy. So
yeah, if you're expecting earth heavy, then Graveview's a great pick. If you're expecting aggro heavy, then you play Florian. And
Yep.
while there's a ton of minutia around that, if you don't own either of those decks or you're not practiced, it's just, if you know how to play both of these heroes, you should play one of them almost certainly, I think.
I think we can all agree with that. And I think with that, we should probably look at wrapping up the inaugural pilot episode of the Righteous Gaming podcast. I appreciate you all for coming along, hanging out, checking out this new little thing we're going to be doing here on a regular basis. Please, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. We're going to be on all the other platforms as well. So wherever you see us, Apple Music, Spotify, what have you, just hit the little follow us thing is much appreciated. You can also come hang out with us in the Righteous Gaming Discord. We have the link posted in the comments, or in the description of all the major uploads. So anywhere there, come hang out. The whole team, as well as our esteemed leader, Tyler Broaden himself, hangs out in there. So it's a good time. Until next time, you can all stay righteous.